you know, so they can bow out. Exit stage left. They ain't coming back.
Right? Like the like Uncle Sam on the Super Bowl ritual, exit stage left.
Yeah, that's the American corporation. That's the stage left.
How long do you think a United States corps got, being that Donald Trump is pretty much, he's already getting in there, trying to move real fast at liquidating and trying to figure out where all the money's at so he can call all the assets. You think they got 4 years? I mean, they got 4 years.
No, they moved the celebration date from the day after Memorial Day this year to the 4th of July of 2026. So they needed more time. So he gonna be at breakneck speed up until the end.
Yeah, he working fast. He all the assets, trying to figure out where all the money's at. He going through the whole book. They going through
that's what you do when you close the corporation. You got to take account of all assets.
That's right. That's what I told him. That's what we told him. We've been told him this, that Trump is coming to liquidate. He finna call in all assets.
Right.
So people complaining right now about their tax. Trump holding people tax this year. If you got child tax credit, well, you know, you file kids on your income tax. They holding most of everybody to April and the end of March, and people, black people going crazy right now, saying, "Man, I'm supposed to have been got my taxes back," and now Trump is calling to be hold for the trial. So it's a lot of stuff.
Well, we don't remember when they closed the IRS because they didn't make it mainstream news. They mentioned it on the back page somewhere. IRS ordered to shut down.
Damn.
Right. That was like 2021.
Yeah, I think I seen it, and the lady that came out and said something about it, we ain't seen her since.
The same with the corporation got to shut down too. We sunk on January 6th. We sunk their battleship. We took us off the Admiralty and put us under the jurisdiction of the Republic. That's what the January 6th big deal was about. The law of the land was the flag with no fringes. The guy that was dressed as the shaman sat behind Pelosi's desk. You only have to occupy it for a couple of minutes.
Right.
He sat there about 10 minutes. That's occupied the ship. Right. We sank her battleship. In 2017, the British, ever since 1776, had to have a ship in the bay right there off DC to collect the birth certificates for the fraud and the enslavement of the people to be held in reprisal for the debt.
Makes sense.
When Trump made them leave, that's how he broke their jurisdictional stronghold.
Makes sense.
Now he can foreclose on the corporation, but he got so many dirty players, they need to buy some time. So they put Biden in.
So I think, you know what I think, Roy? I think that they were paying a lot of ransom money to people, because I heard that the fake, I heard that the people that's over in Jerusalem now saying that they're Jews, they threatened to tell us who we were to the United States corps if they didn't keep paying them. I heard that the $5 Indians threatened the U.S. corps to tell who we were if they didn't keep paying the extortion money. But now Trump's saying we don't want to pay you no more. Well, we don't want to pay no extortion money no more. You can go
because you heard what Trump said. Because they look like the Indians. He look like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And these people, I don't know who they are, but they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians.
Right. I pass for more Indian than them, is what Trump said.
So you got to understand the feudal ages of Europe, when they used to pillage the villages. When they used to take prisoners of war, they set them up in those villages. And this is where you get your Mongolians that came over as the slaves. When they show you the picture of the brother with the nappy hair and the dude with the straight hair, the dude with the straight hair was the runaway slave, not the dude with the nappy hair. He always been here.
Right.
right? So some of them intermarried in with some of us. Right. Some of them went on in the Trail of Tears and replaced us. And that's why they put them on the reserves and set them on the reservation. Just in case we don't remember who we is, they got somebody that they can replace us with in order for them to divvy up our birthright among themselves without us reaping any benefits. I just didn't think that we should have to endure that BS.
Right. I don't know Justin Trubden. I can't even say his last name. And what's up with the pickup? I got tapes out on the pickups. But that guy, I don't know his name. I don't know this guy.
Justin Trudeau was a dude that came up. He was a genius kid. He came up as an entrepreneur, and he was selling stuff on infomercials. He made cures they don't want you to know about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they locked him up. Gave him, I think, 5 years. And
he brother.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I think that's who they talking about, Justin Trudeau.
Check him out. You might check him out.
Or no, that might be the Prime Minister of Canada, I think.
Because I know that Trump in that video, he just said that he talking about renaming Canada and Mexico. He said we paying them everything. We might well change the name of the country. But the thing is, truth of the matter, that land was a part of this land. They trying to keep us under the impression that land is Mexico is separate from this land. It's the same.
They're talking about the Prime Minister.
Island, huh?
Yeah, they're talking about the Prime Minister of Canada.
Okay.
So the land is broke up in provinces. Just like Canada is broke up into royal provinces, Quebec, Alberta, like that. The same way that the states is broke up. Each territory had a different set of tribal rules governing it, and the tribes from that area had similar tribal practices to, be able to work in harmony together. Mm-hmm. So now when we coming back out of it, it's not going to look the same way it did before we went into it, because they changed all of the lines. They changed the way that we separated land and people. Yeah, but Justin Trudeau is the president of Canada. His ass gonna be locked up. He gonna be Gitmo if he ain't already, because he already been replaced with actor.
Right.
With central casting.
Right.
For a couple years now. So, and a lot of the people in Canada recognized it too, because they were saying something about it, like, that don't look like him.
Came Washington D.C. and created their own government. And
all of their fans is in the George Washington Masonic Memorial display.
Bumped them.
Go look at the fans. They know whose they is. You can do the research on the fans. They're gonna tell you who fans it is. All of the fans is the George Washington Masonic Memorial. Those was the ones that challenged us to the Conjure Wars.
And I'm trying to figure out, did we give them that or did they come with it? Because it's like they want that these guys came over here. We already had the mounds.
Well, we've been doing the craft longer than they have, but they don't know that. They thought we was just savage primitives when it came to the crafts. So then they tried to villainize the ones of us that practice and kill off the priestesses and call it the witch hunts.
Yeah, voodoo and Salem witch projects. The Salem witch.
And then now they hunting down the medicine men, trying to steal this knowledge so they can set up their pharmacia hospitals.
Yeah, Dr. Savy, all etc.
Yeah. Their strategies have not changed. They repeatedly doing the same thing over and over. If you watch the pattern, it's eventually going to reveal who's behind the pattern.
Right.
When did the pattern start? What's the interrupt? Because soon as you interrupt the pattern, you break the paradigm. And this is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to break the paradigm. And the more the paradigm break, the more Trump looked like one of them cartoons. Running around trying to keep up.
Damn sure right. It's a lot of lies just around and with Columbus. You know, that Christopher Columbus whole thing. Like we heard that he was a brother helped him sail. We heard
he was a Moor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Christopher Columbus was a Moor. And Pietro del Negro was the navigator. He was classified as a blackamoor.
Yeah.
That means he was blue-black.
Right, yeah, dark nigga.
Right. And Christopher Columbus was just classified as a Moor. He was a Spanish Moor.
Uh-huh.
So he was swarthy, but he wasn't dark.
Yeah.
Right. So we would call him today he was a high yellow nigga.
Right. About Obama.
Yeah, you know.
Even high yellow than him. Now let me ask you, they said that Columbus is the one that came to America and brought the coin over to Africa. Now, why is I'm seeing Africans thousands of years with corn before Christopher Columbus?
They got to make an excuse for the corn to originate over here and be in ancient cultures. They was trying to cover all that up by giving a backstory of contributions to a thief.
Yeah.
Right? We know that the Anunnaki was growing corn in Sumer.
Yeah.
Because they got it painted on the walls.
Right.
But we know corn originated over here with Tahuti out of the monkey village.
Right.
Right? Botany, where he was growing the different vegetables.
Right.
To form the dietary base of the same food stock that the humans was made from. The carbon of corn. So corn became the celebratory food of all of the indigenous cultures, North and South America.
Right, and the rituals and things. Yep, Masons do it in their rituals. Yeah,
yeah, there's prosperity, abundance. The more corn we grow, corn is a ritual food for the tribes, especially when you start going to the Southwest. But notice it's primarily desert.
Go ahead.
They have to trade cactus for corn from the desert where the grass meet the desert at. Trading posts. And then they go back and use the stuff they got and mix the corn and make their dishes.
That makes sense.
You got stuff that grow in the desert, but it won't grow in regular soil. It's not conducive for its habitat.
Right.
Right. But that doggone cactus is durable. That sucker grow in the wintertime.
And you can drink a lot. You can get water out of cactus. Hey, so you thinking that it's a lot of foods that they saying that's bad for us now that we were eating thousands of years, and then all of a sudden now they saying that I just to a lot of herbalists, they talk about corn is acidic, corn is bad, it's don't break down into your intestines. But then why did we design it? And why were we eating it thousands of years and never had any problems? Then all of a sudden now we got problems out of eating corn. We've eating corn thousands of years.
Well, remember, they don't want us to eat bison, they want us to eat beef.
Yeah.
Right? Beef not good for us either.
Go ahead.
But it tastes good.
Yeah.
The taste remind us of bison.
Yeah.
And only thing else, our uncles down south gonna figure out how to cook it.
Right.
The pit masters.
Right.
The Pitman clan.
Right.
Right. They know how to cook with the fire in the hole.
Right.
This all cultural.
Yeah.
So they if you eat your cultural diet it'll tune your frequency in to your culture. But that don't mean you can't eat other food too. But your cultural diet is just something that ties you back to your culture. You know, we love beans, right? Cornbread. What they say when they see when they see somebody big cornbread fed mother.
A thick, big heavy set, dude.
Yeah. Because the food stocks that we use was to facilitate the growth of the children, and the mother from the area knew what to grow in order to feed her children for maximum growth.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. When she put it together in the kitchen, that's where you get the term soul food. Because she cooking from the heart. The highest frequency of woman is when she in the frequency of mother providing for her offspring and her mate. Right? So while she's stirring the pot, she's putting magic in the pot. Right. That's why some people can't nobody cook like my mama.
Right. Sure.
My mama was the coldest. People come from because my mama loved to do it because she loved to take care of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes out in the food.
Right.
Seasoned just right. Flavor just right. And you ain't cook enough of it no matter how much you cook.
Right. It's good. I like the greens and cornbread. We came up on beans and rice and cornbread down south. Beans, rice, greens, beans, potatoes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You name it.
But you got to remember, see, we conditioned to see from the lens of the age we live in.
Uh-huh.
But you got to remember, bagged potato chips is not 100 years old.
Right.
Matter of fact, the only thing that's bagged like that that's older than that is popcorn, maize.
Go ahead.
Other than that was our potato chips, our Doritos, our Funyuns. Right? We wouldn't even have potatoes like that back then. Right? The Irish had to come over here and bring potatoes with them because they spoiled their land with salt water.
I looked it up. They said that potatoes was indigenous to South America.
They have something like a potato from South America.
The original one, it was the original potato that they showed us from. It's like a purple. It's a purple one. It's not the. Yeah, it's a darker, a melaninated kind of like.
Well, we've been had dealings with the Irish for a long time, and so it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't come from South America.
Yeah, it says the potato. It's like by six, maybe 1,000 different kinds of potatoes. Well, I think it said they originated from South America, and the corn. It's a lot of stuff I'm starting to find out.
You got to remember, lions originate over here.
Yep, I found that out too.
Elephants originate from over here.
Yep, camels.
Camels originate from over here.
The jackal black dog that they said that do for Tahuti, used for Anubis, originate from over here.
But that's really not. That's the Zolo over here. That's Anubis. Yeah. But because there's no Zolo over there, they use the jackal.
Yeah. 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 So that stands the reason that Anubis was down there. And they found Anubis is the mommy that the god of burial and all that, right? Because that dog buries his bones, whatever, they get that, right? But the oldest mommy is found over here. Like the oldest mommy, so they were burying that same style of wrapping the bodies and
funerary rites.
Yeah, that they was doing that over here already before. So what
that's because I told you Egypt over there was just a satellite of over here.
Go ahead.
And the Egypt over there is Hollywood. The real thing was over here.
Go ahead.
That's just an outpost. All of the temples, the great temples of the world at the pyramid base, whether it's the ones in China, Japan, South America, the islands, under the ocean around the equator, those were all temple priests schools where you taught the boys how to become men, you taught the girls how to become women, right? And teach up family structure. The temple priests begin to be able to teach the people in the community from the practice that they put in the temples. And this is why you had your Garden of Delight story. You learning the temperament of people so that you will know how to be able to manage and control people without having to control a person. Right? So when they understand the psychology, now you can let them roam free and you can control them from a distance like you got a remote control on them.
Right.
I know your temperament. I know what's going to agitate you. So I'm going to put that in front of you and make you triggered as much as possible until you can't control yourself no more.
Right.
Right. Then you break character.
Driving them, putting the steering wheel in his back and driving them.
Yeah.
Taking control of them.
Yeah.
Hey, we got about 5 minutes, y'all. We're gonna take about 2 more questions before we get out of here, y'all. So people get they say we too loud. Let's see. Joseph in the Bible took corn to Egypt. Yeah, he took corn to Egypt, but where did he get that corn from? Because we starting to find out that this mate was the main Egypt, Tamaray of the West. It wasn't called Egypt, it was called Tamaray. And Tamaray stands for Black Madonna, Mary, Inanna. It all goes back to Madonna. I mean, to Inanna.
Yeah, right? the corn did originate over here, and it was taken over there. Remember, Egypt over there now older than the Egypt in the Grand Canyon.
Go ahead.
The Grand Canyon is so old, it has more erosion than any of the great pyramids over there in where you call Egypt.
Crack their head, Rod.
The Nile Valley is an outpost. The Emerald Tablets told you that Tahuti rose up in this ship and flew east and settled in the land of the hairy barbarian, and he used his weapon to make them bow and cower before